So I'm 39 and I graduated college into a recession and just like a complete media catastrophe. Everything was melting down. Condé Nast was everything was melting down. And so there weren't a lot of mentor figures around to really, I think that they were just trying to figure out what they were going to be doing, you know, the generation of people who would have been of that age. And it was also this funny time that was like, you know, it wasn't like the 1950s, but Me Too hadn't happened yet. And so there was a lot of this like sexually charged, like ambiguous kind of intern editor kind of vibe that no one really knew what to do with. And I think you know, the culture was definitely edging towards condemning it, but it was still a little bit loosey-goosey. And so what ended up being really formative for me was the people that I was coming up with. And so when I was in my early 20s, I worked on a magazine called The New Inquiry. It started off as just a website. It wasn't real. We called ourselves editors. We didn't know how to edit. We didn't know how to do anything. But, you know, this was in the context of Occupy Wall Street and a lot of really sort of a lot of energy and activism and kind of political thought. And it was just a bunch of like radical academics, underemployed writers, you know, college students, people who have made incredible careers like Rob Horning and Malcolm Harris and Sarah Leonard, who's a dear friend and collaborator. And all of these people that were just making this magazine, by the seat of our pants were actually a lot more influential to me than somebody I worked for or with at an institution. For me, the most kind of important parts of my career have been making up institutions and creating a community. This was out of necessity. This was because it felt like there wasn't really anyone to help. You know, when you're in your teens, as I was, you start a band. When you're in your 20s, you start a magazine. When you're in your 30s, I guess you have a podcast, but I missed that. And I don't know what you do in your 40s because I'm not there yet, but I am open to suggestions.